Joining me now right here on High Heat, Lance McCullers Jr., who is live from Minute Maid Park. And Lance, thanks so much for taking a few moments to be with us. And you know something about being in the postseason. 7 MLB seasons, 6 of them in the postseason. What does that experience bring?
No, I think it brings a lot of, honestly, gratefulness, just because we're in a situation every year in this organization to play in the postseason. I know a lot of guys, it's their goal. We have Hector Neris here this year, who came over from the Phillies. His first year making the postseason, you saw how special it was to him. So being able to, play in these days in October and have a chance to win a World Series is what this game is about, what we play for. So feeling another, great run coming, but very grateful for sure.
Seattle is an opponent that you're obviously familiar with, but they have karma on their side if you think about how long it's been. You go to the postseason every year. They haven't been in 21. How do you think the Astros match up against them?
They're a great team, and we know that firsthand. We've played them quite a bit the last few years, and you could see the way they've been building their team. Obviously, this was their goal. They ended a huge drought, maybe the longest in baseball at the time, until they went to the postseason this year. And they have really played great baseball, especially this second half of the season. You saw the way Castillo and the guys, fought their way through Toronto. It was a great team. So we have our hands full. We got to make sure we come out with our pants on fire.
Dusty Baker said, Lance, that he wasn't necessarily ready to set your rotation yet. I know that there's some illness going on in the clubhouse and stuff, but do you have a sense after Justin Verlander if you're going to throw game 2 or game 3?
Yeah, you're right. I feel like every other day we got a couple new guys coming in who just aren't feeling so hot. So, but honestly, they haven't really told us. I threw a live yesterday, so I'm prepared to throw either game 2 or game 3. I love pitching here at Minute Maid, but I love pitching on the road, especially in the postseason. It's special to be able to experience those different atmospheres. So whatever the Astros call me to do, I'll go do, and I'll do the best I can for sure.
And Lance, if it's not you, it might be Framber Valdez. And my goodness, we don't talk about him enough. What has made him so special?
Well, I think you've seen him develop over the years, and you've seen him grow. Be able to throw strikes with both his main pitches, the sinker and the curveball. He's got a really good changeup that he doesn't really get too often because the other pitches are so good. And then this year, especially against those lefties, he's using a slider, cutter, action type of pitch, and I think it's just opened the zone up for him. I think he feels confident and comfortable, getting guys out in the zone. And he went on a special run this year, and we're lucky to have him on our team. And regardless of when guys do or don't pitch, I think there's a big emphasis on the games and when guys are slotting in. But in postseason baseball, every single game is extremely important. So whenever we get our opportunity as a starting staff, we have to make sure we do a good job.
Lance, I know you respect the Seattle Mariners. You respect every opponent. But if you look head-to-head this season, the Astros were victorious more times than not. 12 of 19 games against the M's you win. And really over the course of time at Minute Maid Park, you guys have dominated Seattle. 30 out of 37 games against them at Minute Maid Park. How much stock do you put in that?
Not a lot. And honestly, we have played well against Seattle, but like I said, I feel like they hit their stride further into the second half of the season. We didn't play them a whole bunch down the stretch. And honestly, I look back on other series and when we've played teams and we've had success against them, maybe during the regular season. I think back to 2018, we faced Boston. We played them extremely well. Felt like we had a great upper hand going into that series, and truly it didn't matter. I think they beat us in 4 or 5 games. So postseason, everything's out the window. Seattle's got a bunch of momentum, on their side. Playing Toronto, playing great baseball. We haven't played in a few days, but like I said, it's going to be up to us to come out, set the tone at home. A lot of days off, but we feel great against anyone. But you have to make sure that you're respecting the people you play, because as we've seen, we've been in some World Series here as of recent where maybe we've potentially been the favorite and it hasn't gone our way. So we just have to make sure that we're focused on taking care of our business.
Yeah, just ask the Mets and the Padres. Of course, you never want to be on the IL, Lance, but I also think that there's an opportunity to be able to rest that arm, too. You make the season debut in mid-August, so I would imagine you're feeling pretty strong, pretty healthy at the right time.
Well, I think I've hit my stride here as of late. I was saying earlier today that, being able to face, postseason quality opponents down the stretch, like the Rays and the Phillies, when they're really fighting for something, it means a lot to be able to gauge yourself and how you're feeling, where your stuff is at. I'm recovering great at this point. Early in the year, when I first kind of came off the DL, was still a little bit of a touch and feel mode. Didn't really understand what my stuff was doing yet or how I was going to be feeling those days. But I feel like I've settled in here, and I feel like I've hit my stride over these last 20, 25 innings. And I'll tell you what, whenever I get the ball, I'm going to be really excited to pitch again.
Yeah, no question about it. I don't doubt that for 1 second. Last question for me. You had mentioned you guys had a couple days off. Of course, the goal is to win the division. The goal is to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but there also has to be a balance of making sure that you're ready, but you're also getting the rest that you guys so desperately need at this time of year. How do you balance that?
No, I think we've done a pretty good job. Like I said, a couple days off I think is ideal, but we're talking 5-6 days off with some off days built into the first couple games. People have to keep in mind that we play a 162 game schedule plus 3 weeks in spring training, and we're dealing with 1, maybe 2 off days a month. So we're not super inclined to a lot of downtime, I would say. But coming here to the park, seeing the way the guys been working. Like I said, I threw a live yesterday against basically all of our hitters and took it pretty serious. You got to make sure you don't let your own hitters get the better of you. You'll never hear the end of it. So was pitching. I threw the first pitch fastball to Altuve. He smacked it, and I was like, all right, I got to lock it in a little bit. So overall, I feel like we're coming here. We're enjoying the downtime, but the work is still there, and we're being cautious of that and keeping the intensity up.
That's a good question. If you actually had to face your teammates, if you were an opposing pitcher, who's the least likely that you would want to face?
The least likely, typically, I think pitchers don't like facing their catchers. So I really wouldn't want to face Maldonado this year when the Twins came to town. I know he's not on our team anymore, but I was counting those days out, and I was like, man, am I gonna have to face Carlos? He was at the house yesterday. The babies were playing, and I was just thinking, like, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to face Carlos yet in a big league game. But we have so many great hitters, but I'm really close. Been playing with Bregman for a long time. He's got great plate discipline. He would be a tough at bat.
All right. Well, good thing is you don't have to worry about them. You just have to worry about facing the Seattle Mariners. Lance McCullers Jr. making your 7th trip to the postseason, 6th trip to the postseason in 7 years. Thanks so much for being with us. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.